Yo, welcome in or welcome back, whichever one, or both, right, Matt?
Yep.
We saw more injuries again. Um, that's kind of been the story of this season. It seems. Mike Evans, 1,000 yard streak gonna come to an end. That's obviously really unfortunate. Would have loved to see him break Jerry Rice's record there. I think even Jerry Rice would have been pretty pumped up about that. So he's going to be out. Maybe not for the full season though, Matt. We were just talking about. Might come back like week 15, week 16.
Yeah, with
But
with collarbone like that, he's got a chance to come back, but
yeah, it's going to be the
obviously
Bucks have a playoff run, which they're looking very good at having that possibility. And then obviously we just see a bunch of quarterbacks, man. I mean, Jane Daniels, I believe, was already ruled out for Monday night against the Chiefs. We got Bryce Young possibly not playing because as we always talk about, we record this Wednesday night. So some of these guys that are maybe 50-50, like Bryce Young, um, are we just don't know yet. But yeah, Bryce Young. Um, we got who was in that? Penix, who was just questionable.
yep.
We've got I mean, even think Tyrod's a little bit banged up as well. So a quarterback galore in
Yeah, he's
terms of you just don't know really who's going to go out there this week. So it's gonna be a very interesting week of matchups, especially with 6 teams on a bye.
yeah,
But
this is the big week with
yeah,
everybody on bye, so
right. So with all the buys, we might see some really rough football here with some quarterbacks. But the whole story, besides injuries of last week of being week 7, isn't even the injuries of that headline, is it, Matt? The headline of last week is, I mean, you were just researching it to see if it's maybe was the worst, like, or best comeback, but the worst thing for the Giants fans to ever have to go through. I mean, the Giants Broncos game, Matt. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I feel like you had Broncos fans probably leaving the game
man.
because it didn't score until the 4th quarter, so, man, 19-point lead, you shut them out until the 4th quarter, and then all of a sudden, things get real interesting with basically like a deflection, like an accidental touchdown
Yep.
in the corners. It was going to Sutton. That kind of sparked it. Um, but just yeah, this massive 33-point 4th quarter. It's got to be one of the best comebacks, maybe just in the 4th quarter alone. If we think about it, maybe that way, not necessarily the deficit,
Yeah.
because there's only a 19-point lead. But man, the Broncos, was it a Giants collapse or was it a Broncos
Oh, it was a
comeback?
Giants collapse. Oh, it was a Giants collapse, no doubt. One thing I will say, really cool story that I saw. It was they were honoring Demaryius Thomas at that game, who passed away at the age of 33, and they scored 33 in the fourth to come back and win that game, which is kind of a really cool, kind of like a goosebump, like weird
Right.
story, right? Um, but no, the Giants collapsed in that one. I don't know what Jackson Dart and that offense is doing so much. If you watch the game, I don't know if you got a chance to watch that last 2-3 minutes. I mean, they don't even need points, and Jackson Dart is throwing the ball 40, 50 yards down the field to guys instead of just moving the ball up and wasting some time. It's like they're just launching. I mean, there was like 6, 7 plays where he literally just launched the ball 40 yards. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You can just get
Yeah.
5, 6 yards at a time and just go.
That's
And it's like,
that's where
I don't know if,
experience is
yeah.
gonna help him along.
And I
And
think that's why Dabo was really upset about that, was because that, yes, the Broncos were playing good football in that fourth and in the last couple of minutes, but when you're up that much and that many points, you just have to kill the clock. That's all you have to do. And I think that's a learning lesson for Jackson Dart, no doubt.
yep.
Which before we're gonna get into the games, because these games should obviously take us way less time. We were just talking about that for this episode because there's 6 teams on a bye. I do have my fun facts, a little bit less of them, but we'll start with Thursday night, Matt. Joe Flacco threw for 342 against the Steelers Thursday night. He became the 6th quarterback to throw for 340 yards in a game after their 40th birthday. And the other people that were on that list with him, so he's the 6th. Vinny Testaverde, which I don't. Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Okay, that's old school then, because that's not me. It says 2004, so that makes sense. I mean, that's I'm 6 years old at that point.
Right.
So to be fair, cut me a little slack. So Flacco, Testaverde, Warren Moon, Drew Brees, Brett Favre are all on that list. The bottom 3 each have 1, and then Favre and Breeze have 3, and Tom Brady has 25. 25
Yeah.
340-yard games after the 40th birthday for Tom Brady. That is a crazy stat, man. That is an absolute crazy stat. I saw that. I was like, dude, that's insane. Speaking of Tom Brady, for a franchise that was obviously ran by Tom Brady, the Patriots quarterback Drake May sets a new franchise record for the highest single game completion percentage with a minimum of 20 pass attempts at 91.3%. The previous record was held by Brady himself at 88.5%. So, hey, Matt, I called it last week.
I know.
I didn't call it. I said May VP. And I mean, he's looking very, very, very good with not that great of a receiving core, if we're being completely honest. But another one for you. The worst 2 running backs this season in yards per carry with a minimum of 50 yards. I bet you couldn't even guess this if you tried.
I'm gonna say
Zach Charbonnet,
okay.
2.6, and Saquon Barkley, 3.3.
I was gonna say Saquon, just the way it's been rolling out this year.
Just rough. I took that one, man, and I was like, I don't want to say it on the pod, but I have to, right? I mean, I gotta be truthful here.
You have to point it out so that we can do the kind of the
right.
push that we've done with AJ Brown.
That's right.
And other guys.
He's back.
Yep.
Speaking of the NFC, though, right? With the Eagles, I thought this was really cool. Obviously, you'll be proud of this too, being a huge NFC North fan with the Detroit Lions. 13 of the 16 NFC teams have at least 3 wins this season. Which, if you look at the AFC, that is nowhere even close. So it just goes to show you, man, there are some elite teams. I know you're thinking 3 wins through 7 weeks, but there's a buy in there for a lot of the teams too. So it's a pretty good conference compared to the AFC right now with the Jets and Titans in it.
And 2 of the teams have ties, right? So that it's not going to count in that column. So
yeah, very true. Very, very true. This one I sent to my buddy that's in a dynasty, and he has Brian Thomas. And last year he won the entire thing, and now he's like 1-5 or 1-6. And obviously Brian Thomas isn't doing very well. But he was very proud. He was very proud of Brian Thomas. So I sent this to him. The Jaguars rank 32nd in the NFL at converting catchable targets into catches. Brian Thomas ranks 83rd among 83 wide receivers with a catching percentage of 64.3% of catchable targets. 83rd out of 83.
That's where you want to be, just completion percentage, not catchable balls.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Obviously, a lot of speculation around the Jets. We were just talking about that. If the Jets go 0-8, is Aaron Glenn done, right? Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, 4-2. Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, 5-12. Justin Fields on the Steelers, 4-2. Justin Fields on the Jets, 0-6. I wonder what the problem is there, Matt.
The organization.
That is right, my friend. That is right. Aaron Glenn not going to get a fair shake. You heard it here. And then not a stat for you guys. And I know we broke down a bunch of stuff last week with the stats, which I know some of you guys actually really enjoyed that, which was awesome. And we'll do that again week 12, and then obviously when the season ends. But just a real quick one, Matt. I'm just going to name off some names. Obviously, you're going to know the last names, but these are the top 12 receivers in the NFL right now. You tell me which one stands out. JSN, number 1. Number 2, Jace. Number 2, Nakua. Number 4, Pickens. Number 5, St. Brown. Number 6, Jefferson. Number 7, Igbuka. Number 8, McCaffrey. Number 8, McCaffrey, dude.
That's insane that he's still in the top 10 right now.
McCaffrey, man. That is insane, dude.
You know what's even, so I was looking at that. He actually did it on the ground last week too.
Yes.
So
yes.
The fact that he's still up there in the receiving game, he actually ran for a touchdown. He ran for what, 70 yards, like.
Yep. And he's one of, I think, 5. Yeah, he's one of 5 receivers with 50 plus catches. I mean, it's only JSN, Chase, Nakua, and St. Brown, and then him. He's got more catches than St. Brown this season. And then another one that was on there that surprised me, which I have the top 12, but right behind him at 9 is Devontae Smith after the big shootout. So that was like kind of a shocker to me. And then Sutton, London, and Diggs, just to give you more than a
Okay.
top 5 example. But I was kind of surprised by Sutton and Smith. Really, Devontae Smith and
Yeah.
Sutton kind of really surprised me. I know London and Diggs were kind of up there because we saw some good games from them, but
Smith, what was that? That had to have been like a 60, 70 yarder. What was that long touchdown that he had?
71, I think. I think it
71.
was
Yeah.
71.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I think he ended up with like
that's huge.
112, 118 or something like that. It was something. It was he had a great game. Great week to trade for him.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there for any fancy ones that might have traded for him right before that blow up game. Anyways, Thursday night, tonight's matchup, we got the Chargers versus the Vikings. LA will be home here. I'm glad to see you back on the Chargers side of things after they got fucking smoked by the Colts. It hurt to see. It really did.
I made the right call last week.
Yep.
And it hurts because they roll out with those amazing, like we talked about the
Beautiful.
jerseys. They have these awesome alternate jerseys, but then they lose in them. You can't do that.
You got to go undefeated in those jerseys.
I know.
I think you wait one more week, dude. Go Thursday night. Make sure you're in prime time with them on. You know what I mean?
To me, those were the color rush jerseys I was talking about.
Yep.
That was that type of look that it looked like, the all yellow.
Yeah, the
like
Eagles
that.
have them. They're all black.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, the Eagles use them and they're all black. I think the Vikings have them and they're all purple.
There you go.
But like right here, dude, Thursday night, bring out the all purples and bring out the baby powder blue.
That would be good.
Or even just like the yellow, like whatever. I mean, yellow might be confusing because of the Vikings or whatever, maybe a little bit, but like still, dude, it looks so sick. But dude, the Chargers got to get back on the right track here, right?
Yep.
We talked about them having 3 straight great divisional wins. They beat every team in the AFC West first 3 weeks, and then they've been struggling, right? We see them drop a game to the Giants. They lose last week to the Colts. And then I believe the one before that was I forgot the other loss. But the Giants won, obviously, a very notable one that probably should not have happened, even though they're surprising a lot of teams. I mean, they stayed up with the Broncos too. But yeah, I don't know. This matchup, they might be rushing JJ McCarthy back. We talked about it last week that they might, and then they didn't. And then you text me when someone threw 3 picks after you called it. So I mean,
Dude,
do you bring the kid back, right?
He got smoked on that pick 6.
Yeah.
I literally thought he wasn't standing back up after
and
that
he was,
one.
and JJ was the 3rd emergency quarterback in that situation.
Okay.
So he was still dressed. But I mean, your season's kind of slipping away, and it's kind of notable that like, hey, Wentz isn't the guy. So he's not going to be our Sam Darnold that saves the season. Like, you got to give JJ a chance because I mean, I think JJ was, 2-0 or 2 maybe 1-1 or something like that. But at least he was, I don't know, in more winnable games. I mean, I don't know. But either way, Chargers got to get back in the win column for me here. Especially just because, I mean, we see the Chiefs, right? And they're starting to stomp in that. And that's why I had to pick them as my division pickers, or division winners, because how do you not, right? I mean, when Monday night, they're playing the Commanders. No Jaden Daniels. Like, everything's lining up for them again. I mean, the refs gave them that game against Detroit, and you're going to see that a couple more times throughout the rest of the season. So the Chargers got to start winning some games here. Should be a good game, but I love seeing Herbert get all those yards. Maybe don't turn the football over as much as he did, but other than that, obviously McConkey and Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
and how about the rookie tight end?
Well, I was just gonna say, and I don't know if you saw it on our waiver wire. We both, I put a bid in for him for $31. I thought for sure I was overpaying for him. I don't remember who picked him up. Also bid $31 on the nose, but I lost the tiebreaker.
Okay. The tiebreaker is the last person to make a pick on the.
I don't know what the tiebreaker is.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Commissioner, you're gonna have to look into that for me. But
I think that's what it is. Is like if you make one, you go from 1 to 12. Like if you make a waiver pickup, like you go from 2 to 12, and then so if you don't do it, the tiebreaker, and you haven't been picking anyone up, you would be the top guy.
You
to
stay
get
up there.
tied.
Okay.
Yeah. You still have to pay the money, but like
So yeah, obviously seeing him, I think 2 games in a row, 7 receptions out of the tight end.
Yeah.
But in a game like that, he threw for over 400 yards. You saw the targets just, for Keenan Allen just are there. McConkey starting to get the ball too. So hopefully this is another game, because like we talked about, with your standout running back, and then obviously your veteran running back out already on the season, that run game it starts to slack, and then you know Justin Herbert can throw the ball, and you can see that, and
Yep.
you can win a game when he starts just throw the ball. So I think that's what carries them here in this Thursday night matchup.
Absolutely. And then we have the Dolphins playing at Atlanta. You know, Atlanta 3-3. If they're without Penix here, this matchup might be really bad. Um, and who knows? Maybe it's really good. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I guess, could come in and still beat Miami. But I mean, when is Miami going to give up on Mike McDaniel here? I mean, the press conferences keep getting worse.
So maybe this is the week we see Jets fire their head coach, Dolphins fire their head coach, and start the last half of the season with you're gonna have
Kirk
interim
Cousins
coaches.
dominates the Dolphins that gets traded there. That would be crazy.
Let's see it.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Atlanta's defense, honestly, people don't give it enough credit. They do have a really good defense. And I have zero faith in Miami's offense right now. It's just nothing looks good, and I don't see it turning around at any point. That's why I thought Mike McDaniel was going to be the first head coach fired. I think the Titans just pulled the trigger quicker, but it could have easily been Mike McDaniel, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's one. Obviously, Brian Dable got saved by the creatine Caucasians, but I mean, the Dolphins are rough, man.
Yeah, and I think the run D is pretty bad. So I think this is a Bijan, maybe Algier game. Like run game just can carry them through this game.
Yeah.
And obviously if you think of the Falcons as going up early, then it just is a run heavy game. So I see Bijan and Algier having a good game here.
Yeah. How about Bijan and CMC on Monday Night Football? My goodness. That was awesome to see. And then we got the Jets going into Cincinnati. This is what we're kind of talking about. Aaron Glenn going 0-8.
Yep.
Obviously the Bengals coming off a really good win, man. That was a really, really good win, especially in division with the Ravens at the bottom, and you kind of got to scratch back up at the top. We were talking about how important that game was for the Steelers on Thursday night, man. And as equally as we talked about how it was important for the Steelers, it was just as important for the Bengals because Joey B is going to be coming back at some point, right? So if Joe Flacco can just right this ship and just every other week just win one game and just keep them afloat, I mean, they're going to be looking good. And I think there's not much I have to say about this game because obviously they're playing the Jets. The Jets are 0-7 for a reason, and they think that starting Tyrod Taylor is going to save them, which clearly every organization knows that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that we need to take away from this is if you have a pure wide receiver one, I'm talking Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Nakua. I mean, I'm probably missing some, just St. Brown, just like go down the list of just guys that are playmakers. They need to be targeted 15 times a game. There's no excuse that they're not. Offensive coordinators are getting too creative in today's day and age, and I think you see quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford and Joe Flacco that played in a different era of football, and they never made any adjustments, right? Stafford targets his guy 15, 20 times, and Flacco is the same way. We saw him do it with Njoku in Cleveland, right? He would just throw to, if you get your guy and you like that guy and you trust him, you throw him the football 10 plus times. Like you have to. Some of these guys they lose, these teams lose, and their star guy gets 4 targets. That's
Yeah.
insane. Like
it's
that's
unacceptable.
yeah,
So
and I think this is a class example, like a perfect example. Thursday night, I think what did Chase have? 21, 22 targets? It was something
was
ridiculous.
it 16 or was it
It was
16
16 catches.
receptions?
It was
Yeah.
16
So
catches. I think it was 22 targets.
yeah.
There's no excuse not to be doing, and now 22 a game is ridiculous, but there's no excuse not to be doing it at least 10 times to your guy. None.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, and especially, I mean, he's also spreading the ball to T,
Yep.
who's obviously a great receiver as well. He found a way to get Noah Fant. Like we thought Noah Fant was a bust,
Four
already.
catches for 44 and a touchdown, and Chase
And
Brown hits over 100 yards on the
yeah,
ground.
so yeah, it's the quarterback here, the veteran quarterback can find a way to scheme it correctly in a way that you just feed those guys and let them be the playmakers they are.
Absolutely. And then Cleveland at New England. Same thing. just not much to talk about in this matchup. The Browns obviously they just came off a week where they beat the Dolphins, which shout out Judkins. We said he's gonna have a big game. He's puts up 3 touchdowns, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but same thing. Patriots just kind of going into that ease of schedule. These are games where you need to walk out of the schedule at 7-2, 8-2, and keep it moving. And Drake May, obviously, I gave you the stats. I mean, breaking a Tom Brady record is pretty damn impressive with a very weak receiving core compared to what Brady had. Not saying that Brady had the best core. I know he had Moss at one point, and Edelman, and Amendola and Gronk, but I mean, May doesn't have any. I mean, he's got year 12 or whatever Diggs coming off a torn ACL. Like, not the most ideal, right? So,
Yep.
he's making the best out of it, and you love to see it, man. It's cool to see.
Yeah, I think the use out of Ramondre again. I mean, that sucks. 'Cause I was really holding out hope for Travion Henderson to kind of eventually step in, but Ramondre seems to be getting it done now. Back
Yeah, and their
again. So
backup. Did you see the backup the other running back behind Ramondre? Like, there's another running back, and there's a leaked video of Vrabel talking to giving him praise, saying like that's what gets you more looks or whatever. And Henderson he wasn't even on the field, so it's just like,
yeah,
damn, man. Like, so I don't know if you drafted Henderson in not a dynasty league, it's definitely time. I saw someone in our league, Matt, literally just dropped him.
just dropped him because
So
yeah, it's
if you don't have the bench space for it, I mean, it's not going to tell you to do it, because if you can keep them, you want to. But if you're struggling and you can't stash them anymore, it's understandable.
yep.
And then a game that kind of still stings to look at, just because
I was gonna say, do we call this a revenge game at this point? You almost
yeah.
have to.
And I'm going to say this: the Giants, that type of loss, right? 33 in the fourth, we talked about. That kind of loss shatters a locker room. It does. Like, it just does, because even when you're up, you're like, oh no, like we were in this spot before. Like, you're never comfortable in games anymore. You
Well,
lost.
especially
You lost the
young
swag.
guys,
Yeah,
especially
you
the young
lost.
guys like that. You saw the look on Jackson Dart's face, like he was shell shocked. He didn't know
Yeah,
how something like that happened.
yeah.
So
Not
carry
saying they're
it
not
into
gonna be.
this.
They're still gonna be great players. They're still gonna be great, whatever. But it's a tough one to come back from, especially you're gonna go play into Philly. It's going to be brutal there, because they want this. The Philly fans want this win bad, right?
Yeah,
They don't like the way it happened on Thursday nights. And so I think our offense looked really good last week. So I think the more we're going to get the ball in the air working for our offense, the more that Barkley's going to start to get rolling, which will lead into the teaser of, I do absolutely think he gets into the end zone this week, especially against his former team, like a team he didn't score against that Thursday night matchup. And he's kind of been in that dry spell of not being utilized as much because they can't get going when he's getting hit behind the line, right? I mean,
yep.
even with the Eagles O line, and it's been a little banged up this year, but even with that Eagles O-line, he's struggling to have any openings, with the pass game being as bad as it's been. But you see the last 3 weeks, every week Hurts has had over 280 yards. So you can't really ask for much more out of that offense of what you're getting, at least from the passing game. So it's time for Barkley to step it up, and I think going against the Giants is one of the perfect ways to do that.
Yeah, I love that assessment. I really think this is one that Eagles have to just hammer down and just, blow the roof off, throw the
Yep,
ball. And then you're going to give then Saquon the opportunity to run the game away at that point. But we need to see those explosive plays out of him that we haven't yet this season.
absolutely. And they're gonna be wearing Kelly Green, so it even
Love
gives them
it.
more of a reason to win. Shout out. Oh, and Brandon Graham coming back after out of retirement, by the way, too. That was pretty
I,
cool to see.
I saw that. So that's one of those things where you love that veteran presence.
Yeah.
So
They even said even if he plays 2 snaps a game, him being on the sideline, all the guys that were there last year, they were like, him being on the sideline is going to make our team so much better. Like, just him being there.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
I love it. I don't think they lose this game at all. Bills at Carolina. Obviously, this is a really interesting one, because the Bills have just been they dropped 2 right before the bye week.
Yep.
And then obviously on the other side of things, Bryce Young, the Panthers finally turned things around. And we talked about that offense finally got going consistently off the rip of the games. And that's how they dropped those 2 losses in a row to start the season was their offense got going too late in the game. And then now you're possibly going to be out without Bryce Young. Andy Dalton maybe making the start there. I did see, not to derail this, but I did see something super interesting that the Bills have lost back-to-back games. They lost back-to-back games in every single season. I think Josh Allen has been the quarterback in. Like they've done it every year. They've lost back-to-back games at some point in their season. So it's kind of crazy. And I did see that the Eagles and them since like 2018 have lost like the same weeks back to back or something like it's something weird. It's like a crazy stat. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, because they were saying like the Eagles are literally the NFC
Yep.
team of the Bills or whatever, vice versa, you know? So it's gonna be interesting to see what we see out of this team because what was weird is I'm sure you remember this going into it, the Bills were 4-0, and then they go into that game against the Patriots, and we see them talk about I think Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, we see him bring up that they're going to start utilizing James Cook less and bring in Ty Johnson and other guys and Ray Davis, which is like the guy literally is like a monster, but they were saying like, oh,
Right.
he can't keep it up the whole thing. I think we talked about it episode or week 5 episode that we were talking about his utilization going down. It's like, and now they lose back to back games. So not to spoil yours for you, but James Cook just legacy
Get
game, right? I
Yeah,
mean, he's
get him back running because yeah, that's the difference in the game because it's kind of one of those things where when you have a running quarterback,
yep,
um, like the Bills have, when you have now your running back go off as well, again, opens up your offense. So get him the ball, run away with it. He's a nice speedy back. And yeah, especially you saw the utilization go down and they lose 2 when you're coming off a bye. I think it's you get things right. But yeah, the Panthers have been looking serviceable. So, um, I hope this isn't one where now we see another team, dropping these, all these games all of a sudden. So, this should be a good one. I think it's going to be a closer one than we think, but the Bills got to get moving out of the bye.
yeah, I agree. I've picked 2 teams this year so far coming off of a bye, kind of emphasizing that rest up mentality. And each week they've gotten the job done, being the Bears and then the Packers in kind of a close matchup. So not that this is necessarily close, but I don't know if -7 +7 is necessarily a fair assessment of the Panthers unless they are showing that Bryce Young isn't going to play.
Yep, that might
Um,
be the difference maker.
and
Yeah.
then another quarterback situation. Bears at Baltimore. We both went Baltimore. I think we both can agree we're both betting on the fact that Lamar is going to be back because at 1-5, even if he's a 70%, you got to give him a go because that offense is
Yeah.
not moving with Cooper Rush.
And he's back at practice. So our assessment is we think that means he's trending in the right direction to give him the start here. Obviously, if that doesn't happen, that does change this game
Yeah, absolutely.
significantly.
I'll say it straight up. If my pick's not going to stay not going to change because I'm going to take the Ravens this game. But if you're listening and Lamar is the starter, take the Ravens. If Lamar is not the starter, I don't know about you, Matt, but I personally would pick the Bears. I think the Bears
Yeah.
defense in this matchup against a backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, who's been struggling, and their defense has not been good at all. I think Caleb and Ben Johnson can really get a lot of things going in this game. I think they need Lamar and they need Derrick Henry to get the ball rolling. And kind of the same thing as the Bills, though. They just came off a bye. So if Lamar's ready to go, Derrick and Lamar and Zay, all of them are going to be healthy, ready to go, refreshed. And I think this is going to be a tough one for the Bears. But if you're the Bears, this is one that you want because these are the games that really matter, just like that Monday Night Football game against the Commanders. Obviously, last week, easy layup for them with the Saints, but these are the games that you want to see your team win to make sure that you have a chance when it comes to those wild card spots towards the end of the year.
Yep.
And then we have the 49ers at Houston. Obviously Vegas betting with Houston, but I've been very vocal about it. Me and you have been very vocal about it. I don't care if it's Brock Purdy or Mac. To me, it's Mac Purdy at this point. It doesn't even matter which one it is. It could be both of them. It could be one of them. I'm taking them because that offense, whatever this is Kyle Shanahan. Like he doesn't get enough credit for it, but they are just utilizing so many. I mean, you see, we just talked about CMC. We don't have to go into that again, right? But Kittle didn't even get a target, or didn't get he got a target, but he didn't get a catch.
Yeah, he comes back and then zero
Yeah, which
catches.
is just which
That's
is
tough.
crazy, and you still win a game that you're not necessarily exactly favored for, and then same thing, right? And so, and also shout out to Robert Saleh, who has been an insane defensive coordinator for them, which we talked about him multiple times. That's kind of his role, right? I mean, he got kind of bent over like Aaron Glenn in New York. I don't know when they're going to stop hiring defensive coordinators there as head coaches, but it's their thing.
Yep.
But credit to him too. I mean, their defense has been stout. Even last week with no Fred Warner, you know, it was tough for Atlanta to move the ball. Besides, obviously Bijan, which no matter who you are as a defensive coordinator, you're going to struggle against Bijan. But
Right.
I like it. To me, it doesn't matter who starts here. Um, I just don't have any faith in CJ Stroud and that offense. Unfortunately, that offensive line is brutal.
Yeah, it's looking bad over there. But so it was kind of. I think we had a regression from Mac Jones last week, but
I don't think he's fully healthy. Not to cut you off.
yeah,
I think he's banged up, dude.
yeah.
Like,
So I think so. Like what you're saying is a coach like Kyle Shanahan finds a way to game plan around that. And then what did you see? You saw CMC run for 160 yards or whatever the heck it was. Like
yep,
they game planned around that.
yep,
And then obviously CMC still getting 7 receptions. So it's not like they're steering away from him in the receiving game, but when you still get him on the ground running, that's the coach's to me that's the coaching decision of you're finding a way
yep.
to get that offensive moving. So
And I
I
don't know
think
if you saw. Did you see? It was actually kind of funny because fans were making fun of him. But did you see CMC took himself out of the game on a big third down because he was gassed, and Kyle Shanahan put him back out?
yeah, because they had that
Yeah,
play designed for him. So
and it was
you only
it was
want
a
him.
catch. It was a catch with Kittle as a decoy, and
Yeah,
it was a first down. It was great. It was a great play, huge play in the game that basically won the game and it secured the game for them. But it's just kind of funny because we talked about, hey, Kyle Shanahan's going to ease CMC and he's not going to overutilize him. He's not going to, and then here he is, 1 out of 4 guys in the league with 50 catches, number 8 receiving
yeah.
yards. He's like, get back out there. He's like, coach, my knee.
I'm telling you, the soul sucker is alive. It's
Yep.
all those other injuries. Somehow they're keeping him
Yeah.
strung
I
up.
was gonna send it to you. I was like, man, I bet you he's seen that one. I was
No,
like,
I
that
saw
was
it.
crazy. And then obviously here, Bucks at Saints. Just I talked about it last week, and I still stand by it. I mean, the Bears could have lost to the Saints last week if you watched closely in that game. It wasn't like a crazy, it's like they're staying with people. I just think they're a couple targets, a couple guys, big guys away. I mean, Chris Olave is having a solid season. We talk about Spencer Rattler. He might not be the guy, but Spencer Rattler can make, and I don't, this is the utmost respect. I don't mean this as a jab, but he could make himself a career backup quarterback. Kind of a situation like Mac Jones, like just
Yep.
kind of go around the league and maybe get another starting spot somewhere. But I mean, with what he's got there, man, he's really not doing a bad job with the Saints offense. But for me, you saw Big Mike go down. I think Godwin got ruled out this week as well. So you're going to see Igbuka be the number 1 guy there as well. We saw Tez Johnson kind of get his numbers up. Sterling Shepard, solid option. K. Dodden, solid option fantasy as well. But this is going to be kind of getting back in that win column for me. And there's just really no reason for you to take the Saints in this matchup.
Yeah, like watching the Lions Bucks game, you really did see him. To me, I swear he had 3 overthrows to Tez Johnson
Yep.
alone. So I mean, he's still finding a way to track him, but too much adrenaline, I guess. I don't know what it was, but he overshot him on 3 of those routes. So he was targeting Tez. It looked like his go-to on a couple of those might have been a 4th down, might have been a couple third downs. His comfort zone is that K. Dotton in the middle of the field. I think the NFL gave us back a replay after the Chiefs game because to me it's interesting. The challenge on the field. Do you know the 4th down catch I'm talking about?
I'm
The
extending.
the call on the field was a completed catch, and then you can't advance the fumble, whatever it was. Um, the challenge was completion of the catch again. So by doing that, what they were able to do is review kind of the whole process of it and then respot the ball. So to me, maybe that was Dan Campbell genius, or maybe it was the league kind of like, letting them review the whole play again somehow. Because that was so interesting that they were able to, you know, to me, it didn't make sense that you would review whether it was a catch or not. It's whether it was a fumble or whether he got the first down. They
Yeah.
kind of did it by implementing just the catch itself. You were able to look at,
Yeah, which is crazy because when I was watching it, the first thing I was watching with my brother, and the first thing I said was, "I don't know if he caught that. Like, I don't know if he made a football move or not." So maybe that's what, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not comparing myself to Dan Campbell, but maybe that's what he saw too. Was, hey, I don't know if he had the ball. Like,
right.
you can't say it's a fumble and no forward progression if I don't think he had the ball at
It
all.
wasn't a catch up. Yeah.
Um, so very is extremely interesting. I mean, I was glad the Lions won, and speaking of the Lions, it's like they're on a bye this week, so we don't get to talk about them, but Gibbs in that game. I mean, it was a running back week. It really was. CMC, Bijan, Gibbs, Judkins. Like it was just there was some explosive running backs. And honestly, that's what the Bucks are missing. I mean, with Bucky, right? We were talking
Yep.
about it's
And it's gonna be another week without him.
he's kind of quietly. We talked about like okay, maybe a week or two, and then all of a sudden it was like oh no, his shoulder, and then it's kind of just been every week, and so it's been really impressive that the Bucks. I mean, I would love to see them to go into that matchup against you guys with Bucky, with Mike, with Godwin, with Igbuka, all healthy. It would have been such a fun matchup to watch.
Yep.
But
That's a shootout we deserved, but
yep, it should be easy win for them, 6-2. And then honestly, one that surprised me, which we were texting about, because spoiler alert, if you haven't caught on to it now, me and Matt are consensus on every pick. So for this is the second time this year that we've done this. Of course, it's on a shorter week. Um, but I picked the Cowboys, thinking that you were going to go with the Broncos for sure. Not
same
not
thing.
thinking not thinking you were going to do that, but I was very really comfortable. I was like, he might be with the Broncos, but I have my case for the Cowboys. So I guess I honestly I've been like kind of interested on your case for the Cowboys just to hear how if it's similar or if I mean it probably will be. But I just want to hear your insight on like what you see in this matchup versus the Cowboys or Cowboys versus the Broncos here.
To me, it's all offense. It's kind of we kind of talked about it last week of man, that 1-2 punch of having CD back and Pickens is pretty impressive. You've also got Ferguson at tight end.
Yeah, what a year he's having.
And so to me, Dak, I know we don't want to say it, but Dak is looking like the elite quarterback that they paid him for, a couple years ago. So the offensive game for the Cowboys is very impressive. Obviously, it's the defensive side of the ball. That's the scary side of it. And what we saw out of the Broncos come back in the fourth quarter last week. So this could be one that comes down to the wire. But to me, the offense just is firing on all cylinders. It's the offense for the Cowboys. And then the surprising, Javonte Williams coming out of nowhere. Technically this is kind of a revenge game for him, I guess, after not doing much for the Broncos when he played for him. So yeah, it kind of hurts a little bit. I know I don't have the same disdain that you do for the Cowboys, coming out of your division, but to me, Cowboys are looking solid.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty much the same thing. I even think about Javonte Williams' revenge game here, but I mean you're absolutely right. That I didn't think about that, but I I kind of have this like logic that the Cowboys like there's two good offenses in the NFL right now. It's the Cowboys offense and then whoever they play up against. that's I mean that's just how it is.
I love that.
And it's almost like the Cowboys are like a really good defensive player like Micah Parsons or something away from being a really complete team. But at the beginning of the season I told you CeeDee Lamb was going to be offensive player of the year. Obviously, that's probably gone just because of missing some time. But
Right.
the one thing I was saying was George Pickens, even with the time, I said it last week with Lamb coming back, I think it almost raises Pickens' value when it comes to Lamb being back, just because you have to send the one at Lamb. You have to. Otherwise, he's going to destroy your team. So in this matchup, we're going to see Lamb versus Sertan, which is going to be awesome. and you might see a couple matches Pickens and Surtain, right? But
Yep.
if you're a Pickens fantasy owner, you're thrilled for this because you just saw the Giants put up points on the Broncos. The Cowboys are going to put up 30, 40 points.
I was gonna say another
Um,
44 pointer out of
and I
them.
and I don't think. I mean, that's why. I mean, with how good Denver's defense is, I think this is the first matchup all season where we had a Broncos matchup with the over being over 50 right now. And I think that goes to show like even the Broncos are going to put up some points if the offense can keep up with it. That's the one scare for me that I have in this matchup is I know the Cowboys can put up points. I know they can't stop anyone, but I just don't know if punch for punch the Broncos can do it the way they were doing it last year. The Broncos offense last year was explosive. This year, besides that fourth quarter, let down and collapsed by the Giants, I really
Yep.
have not been impressed with the Broncos offense at all. And so that's why I was siding with the Cowboys is just strictly off of offensive power. um, and then we have the Titans at Indy. Um, I mean, it's Colts. Like they're a
So yeah,
powerhouse, dude. They're a powerhouse.
JT again. I'll say it every week. JT just looking impressive, and then who knew Daniel Jones was a good quarterback?
Did you see?
Not the Giants,
Did you see
apparently.
the big cat in PFT when they were interviewing him or whatever? They have a Philly fan on there, and he asked him if he's been talking to Barkley. He goes, "Oh yeah, of course. Like me and Barkley are friends." And he goes, "Oh, have you guys like talked about how good it's been like leaving New York?" And then like you can tell Daniel Jones was like, I talked to him a lot, and I don't know if that came up exactly in those exact words, but like it was just like funny to see him have like a personality
Yep.
and kind of show it. But hey, man, good for him. Good for Jonathan Taylor. Kind of having that bounce. And we saw him have that crazy explosive year, what, 3, 4 years ago when he entered the league. It was just like, holy crap, this is
Yep.
Adrian Peterson like type of performance. So, like you said, it's awesome seeing JT do that. If you're a JT fantasy owner, you're extremely happy with life, and I'm happy for you. I'm 2-5, so you can go fuck yourself. But we're trending in the right direction, especially when you draft Barkley and it doesn't do you anything. First time I ever drafted
What am
him.
I in that league?
I don't know.
Let's
I
see.
don't think I've played you yet, so
I played you first week.
just
I
just
beat you,
testing you.
and
Just testing.
I
I was
beat
just
your
testing you.
ass.
Yeah, you're undefeated in that league, which I was talking about it today. You don't want to be undefeated in fantasy football because you will lose week 1 of playoffs, and it happens every single year to teams.
I
So
know.
just get that team lost, dude, and then just regain.
All right. I think I might do it. I might do it this week. I'll take your advice.
Yeah.
I'll get my loss out of the way,
If you
so that
lose
way I
this week
can.
and then you win the whole thing, you're welcome.
All right.
Mark it down. And then Sunday night, honestly, really happy with this. Really happy with Thursday night games too. By the way, like I looked at the last like
Yeah.
4 because I felt like I was like, wow, these primetime games have been fun. The last like 4 or 5 Thursday nights have been really fucking good games. But I mean, Packers Steelers, how cool. Kind of the master versus the whatever you want to call Jordan Love, I guess, whatever you want to call him so far. Um, but it's gonna be really interesting. I wish this was in Green Bay. That'd be cool just to like see it. But I still think it's gonna be really cool to see them go back and I think you could take the Steelers in this and have a confident say in that of like Rodgers is really gonna want to get this done. But man, that I was on the Steelers train, dude. Like if they were 5-1, like I would probably side with if they won Thursday night, I think I might be going with the Steelers in this game just
Yeah.
because they're home. And then Rodgers obviously a little chip on her shoulder. But man, that Thursday night game sucked a lot of the Steelers hype out of me where I'm like, I don't know if I believe this team as much as I thought I did. Like
I know.
I don't think I got it in me.
And obviously, it would have been cool. He had a chance that he threw up a Hail Mary.
Oh, dude,
That
he launched that thing, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he trust me, as a Lions fan, I've seen that happen. Aaron Rodgers, you know, it shouldn't have been shouldn't have been rough for the passer to get him in that position.
He's like, let me just vent real quick.
But he did from midfield, kind of the same thing. He's done it before.
Dude, that was like
Actually had
10 years ago too. It's like
yeah,
I can still just chuck it.
and had a chance at. I mean, it was I think it was literally Metcalf was right there to have a chance at it. So if anyone's going to come up with the ball, he'll be able to do it. But yeah, obviously momentum changes there. But no, it's Green Bay team is looking good.
Yeah.
So, not just the Steelers here, but it's, Green Bay does look good. So if they can just figure out their wide receiver core a little bit, I think they would be an elite team here.
Yeah.
But they are a really good team this season so far. So that's why, I'm siding with the Packers here.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the Packers right now is when you look around the league, I look at every single team, and the one team that is just extremely well rounded. There's only one of them. I think is the Packers, because I think quarterback wise, top 15. You can't really. I mean, he's top 15, like he just
Yeah.
is. Running back, top 5. Wide receiver core, in terms of talent, they're top 10.
Well, yeah, they just got to figure out who
Right.
wants to step
And
up.
then tight end, top 5. And defense, top 10. Like they're the
Yeah,
most
now with
well-rounded.
now with
They're
now with
they're not
Parsons for
one
sure.
or they're not 1 or 2, right? Like in any of those like topics. It's not like they have a number 1 quarterback, number 1 running back, whatever. But like they're just so well-rounded, and I think sometimes them utilizing as many wide receivers each week kind of just goes into Matt LaFleur's the game plan of like you don't know who's going to be involved.
Right.
And
Did you
sometimes
say
I think
I was gonna
that's a
say,
good
did you
thing.
say did you say coaching in there too? Because coaching for them is up there too. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
um
fair. Yeah, top 10 coach easily.
last thing on this game real quick though, just because I'm looking at Steelers thinking of his helmet. Did you see my post about Aaron Rodgers and his helmet? You probably missed it. So of course I love my memes on my TikTok. Did you see Aaron Rodgers' helmet and how massive it was?
Oh, yes,
It
I did
lit
see that now. Yes, 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 yes. I did. Okay, I'm like, I'm like thinking of like
No,
helmet. Like
it looks like he has a
you
guardian
said
cap.
helmet, and my mind went straight to the Browns Steelers with
Oh,
Miles
no, no,
Garrett.
no, no.
That's why I was like, dude, this is not the wrong. This is the wrong
No,
game.
no.
Like, what do you,
No, it looked like he has a guardian cap
yeah,
under his
yeah.
helmet right now. Like, it's massive. So, the thing that came to
There's
mind
like a
for me.
huge gap, dude. It's like the helmet's here, and
It's
this is all like foam.
I
Like,
know, it's crazy. So, I think they made him because I swear he's been wearing the same style helmet
yeah,
for his whole
since he entered the
career.
league, yeah.
So, they must have made him upgrade to something, but to me, it looked like Spaceballs, dark helmet,
Yeah,
just
now that you
this.
say that, I 100% saw. I just did. I was like thinking helmet. I went straight to Miles Garrett. Like I just did. I was like, did I miss something? Like
Yeah,
did Miles Garrett
no,
get
so
traded?
it's to me, that's wild. So if you notice that, if you're watching this game again, look at his helmet because it's
Yeah,
out of this
he's
world.
got a noggin, dude. And then Monday night, this game even gets more lopsided than it shows, just because Jaden Daniels is ruled out. So unfortunately, you're seeing the injury bug of the Commanders here. Terry kind of holding
Debo,
out, kind of set the tone of that whole, you know.
true.
So Terry's still questionable. I don't think he's going to play in this one either. I don't know. Even if he does, Marcus Mariota, yeah. I mean, it's just unfortunately the Chiefs go
Yep,
5-3, and that's why we're emphasizing this Thursday night. That tonight's game when this gets uploaded is the Chargers have to win because the Chiefs have some layups coming in, and there's not really much we can do about it because there's no way the Chiefs don't win this game. I mean,
yep. Rushy Rice, sped into this game
yeah,
of,
if you
of last
stashed them,
week
congrats.
because they utilized him right away. It was
Sped into this game.
oh, you got that? He yeah, they got him. They utilized him right away. He got the touchdown. Like it was, they knew it. As soon as they can get him in there, they're going to feed him the ball. It really does change the offense around. An offense that actually was already looking pretty solid. You get a wide receiver like that back.
Yeah,
Um, you know, Unfortunately, the Chiefs can fire on all cylinders. I still think Kelsey is a crybaby and he'll fall apart eventually. But yep, on this game,
yeah,
Commanders are too banged up.
I agree. Rice can definitely make a big impact.
See what
No,
you did there.
okay. No, but teams on the bye, obviously, you guys mostly know by now, just because of fancy stuff. But the Rams, Seahawks, Jags, Raiders, Cardinals, and the Lions. Kind of a really good week, for the Rams to get themselves a little bye. If you're a Rams fan, just because of a couple banged up players there. Um, But we do have a parlay for you guys. We did cash last week. We could have taken our guys to score 3 touchdowns each, and it would have cashed, which is kind of a flex if you're being honest. Like Judkins 3 touchdowns, Adams 3 touchdowns. It was awesome.
That would have cashed for what, like a million and a
Dude,
half?
if you
Would have
threw
been
50
easy.
bucks on that, that would have literally probably done like 80, 90 grand. That's crazy work. And we talked about it with this. If you want to get crazy, right? I'm taking Barkley anytime. Matt's taking James Cook anytime. With the way we think about this is we talked about James Cook utilization going down. They got to get him back to get back in the win column. He gets in. Barkley against the Giants, utilization gone down. Honestly, efficiency went down. Got to get back in the win. Got to get back in the touchdown. Got to get back in the end zone. And honestly, if you want to get crazy, we both think these guys can get in twice. If you're telling me Barkley scored 2 touchdowns against the Giants and Cook scored 2 touchdowns against the Panthers after a bye, I'd be like, yeah. Like, wouldn't surprise me at all. So, I mean, do that with what you will. But we are in the green. So this is our lock. Anytime touchdown, Barkley. Anytime touchdown, Cook. Lock it in. And that's what we got for you guys for week 8. Things are kind of flying by around here, Matt. It really is crazy. I mean, we run an efficient show around here, Matt. I mean, it is like bang bang around here. We don't mess around. We love it. But dude, you guys are loving. Let's just say this too. If there's anyone coming in from I don't know, Matt. Obviously, I get the notifications, but I don't know if you've been seeing it. But the Giants field goal Instagram reel has been popping off, and it is so funny because people think that, like, with you having the Lions thing up, obviously, they think that's like we're jabbing at them for being in poverty, and like people are commenting like, as a Lions fan, you should know, like, you went through similar stuff. It's like, brother, he knows. Like, you don't like, yeah, this is not a jab towards you. This is
That's
just
why we
informing you
point
guys.
out.
Yeah.
That's why we point it out, is
Yeah.
because trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a meme. You'll see it sometime shortly. I'm gonna have the Lions, 0-16 Lions, embracing Aaron Glenn and the Jets
Yeah.
to have another imperfect season. So trust me, I know.
Yeah. It's so funny though, because it's like I get notification. I'm like, if you think he's upset, like if you think 1, he's attacking you, you're wrong. But 2, if you think you jabbing the Lions being bad, he cares. No, you're like, he knows he's been hurt by more than anyone else. Okay, like he understands. He might have it actually worse than you guys because the Giants have actually won some Super Bowls. So I just thought it was hilarious because it kept popping up. I'm like, guys, he's not attacking. It was me that was giving the stat out first of all.
Right.
And second of all, like it's not about that. It was just more so about informing you guys about a crazy stat. But yeah, so we'll be more active on socials this week, but we appreciate you guys. I mean, dude, Matt, I think I looked at it before the pod. I think we're still at 800,000 views in the last 30 days just on Instagram. So that is absolutely awesome. Let us know down in the comments.
Those posts then.
Yeah. Let us know down in the comments if if you're coming from that video. If you guys are new, this is your first time listening, let us know. And we appreciate you guys. And Matt, you got anything else?
Only thing is, it's a big weekend, Michigan State game this weekend. So go blue.
Go Michigan State. Kelly Green. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Later.
See ya.